The most dangerous people in the world are not terrorists, are not politicians, are not even your enemies. The most dangerous people in the world are those who believe God needs them to win. Because once a person believes that, anything becomes justified. We've been told that wars are fought over land, over resources, over security. But the most destructive wars in human history have been fought over identity, and identity becomes untouchable when it's wrapped in God. Right now, the world is watching conflict escalate in the Middle East, across global politics, inside religious narratives. And everyone is asking, who's right? But that's the wrong question. The real question is, what kind of consciousness creates a world like this?
Let's get honest for a moment.
Every major religion has factions that believe they are acting on behalf of God. Not the majority, not the whole, but enough to shape history. In Judaism, there are deep internal differences, from secular voices to ultra-Orthodox communities, to religious nationalist movements tied to land and power. In Islam, the overwhelming majority seek peace, but extremist groups show what happens when religion fuses with absolute control. In Christianity, there are traditions centered on love and service, and there are factions that interpret global conflict as prophecy unfolding. These are not the same things, but they follow the same pattern. A group becomes convinced we understand God's will. Then they attach it to land, power, identity, and destiny. And eventually, they justify force. The moment you believe God is exclusively on your side, you stop seeing other people as human. The most dangerous idea in the world is this: we must act to fulfill God's plan, because now patience disappears, humility disappears, compassion disappears, and violence becomes necessary. History is full of people who were absolutely certain they were doing the will of God, and they were wrong. Now here's what makes this moment even more powerful. We're having this conversation during Easter. Over time, Easter has been layered with tradition, symbolism, and cultural additions. But if you strip all of that away, something radical is still there. The story is not about religion winning. It's about what happens when political power, religious authority, and public pressure come together to destroy truth. And what does that truth do in response? Not revenge, not domination, not holy war. It rises. Resurrection is not about escaping death. It's about the death of something else, the false self. The part of us that needs to be right, needs an enemy, needs to feel chosen over others, needs God to justify its position. That is what has to die. Because if it doesn't, we will keep repeating this cycle. Different names, different countries, same pattern. The real war is not nation versus nation, religion versus religion, East versus West. The real war is fear versus consciousness. Fear says, I must win. They are the enemy. God is on my side. Consciousness says, there is only one life here. What I do to you, I do to myself. Separation is the illusion. If we don't wake up, religion will continue to be used to justify bloodshed. But if we do wake up, Easter becomes something else entirely. Not a holiday, a transformation. Because the world does not need more people, certain that God is on their side. The world needs people, transformed enough to stop killing in God's name. Any religion that needs war to prove God has already lost God. And until we understand that, we will keep resurrecting war. Co-sponsored by the Prodigal movement. This message is brought to you by Don Jackson, Prodigal leaving church and finding God. If this resonates, you're already part of the movement. Shop now, prodigalmovement.com. Get the book wherever books are sold. Stay locked.